In what was initially set out to be a peaceful protest in march against police brutality and the inhumane activities of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad SAS, became eventually hijacked by hoodlums who maybe, just maybe, in response to the Lekki toll shooting, went about destroying both private and public properties. I'm here reporting at ShopRite Surulere, and honestly, this feels like a ghost of itself. Shops were damaged and goods worth millions were carted away. The question that almost comes to mind is, where exactly are this one supposed to pick up from? Months after the abrupt end of the 2 weeks EndSARS protest that rocked Nigeria, Africa's economic powerhouse, the country of over 180 million people is now counting its losses and seething from the damage done to lives, property, and infrastructure in the commercial capital and some parts of the country. The protest took a deadly dimension shortly after soldiers drafted to stop protesters at the Lekki Admiralty toll allegedly shot at unarmed protesters who refused to obey the curfew imposed by the Lagos state government. The shooting reportedly injured and led to the death of a yet-to-be-confirmed number of persons, and it sparked a rage that spread across cities immediately. According to the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, an estimated 700 billion naira was lost in economic value by the country, but some economic experts have put the loss at a little over 1 trillion naira. Aside from numerous properties damaged during the carnage that greeted the alleged killing of peaceful protesters at the Admiralty Toll Plaza, Lekki, it will be hard to quantify the loss suffered by individuals, families, businesses, and the country as a whole. Lagos, the country's commercial capital, suffered the most losses, losing some of its critical assets like the first courthouse in Nigeria, bus terminals, mass transit buses, toll plazas, traffic lights, and other public amenities. The Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, in his estimation claims 73 persons died as a result of the violence, among whom were 22 police officers who paid the ultimate price. These statistics were collated between October 11, 2020, when the EndSARS protest assumed a national dimension, and October 27, 2020. But unconfirmed reports claim more than 100 lives were lost to the crisis. Arsonists did not only set fire to public buildings and infrastructures. Some disgruntled elements took advantage of the crisis to loot stores and malls of goods worth millions of naira. These happened across major cities in the country. After the rampage, about 100 AK-47 rifles and other live rounds were carted away from police units across the country. 205 critical national security assets, corporate facilities, and private properties were attacked, burned, or vandalized. An estimated 71 public warehouses and 248 private stores were also looted in 17 states after the largely peaceful protest was hijacked by miscreants. States most hit were Lagos, Edo, Delta, Oyo, Kwara, Benue, Plateau, Osun, Ondo, Ogun, Rivers, Abia, Imo, Ekiti State, as well as the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. What are the implications of the violence on the country? 1. The unrest may cause investors to lose confidence in Nigeria. Major supermarket franchises like Spar, ShopRite, and similar foreign-owned businesses were badly affected. 2. Loss of jobs. Currently, Nigeria has an unemployment rate of 27.1% as of August 2020. Small business owners who employ thousands of workers have had to let most of their employees go until the time they are able to bounce back. 3. The crisis has also deepened the lack of trust in political office holders by the citizenry. The NSAS protest widened the gulf between the government and young Nigerians who still feel disgruntled over the way and manner the government has handled the call to end police brutality prior to the protest. 4. The financial strain on states will also be evident in the coming days when scarce resources will be needed to rebuild or replace public assets destroyed by arsonists and miscreants. 5. Businesses with no insurance cover may never return. Though some businesses will rely on their insurance companies to bounce back, not all small businesses are insured. 6. Banks who loan money to affected businesses will also take some hits as most loans may have to be written off in the event that businesses affected by the crisis may not bounce back. 7. Inflation rates may likely skyrocket as the nation strives to steer away from a looming recession owing to dwindling income of the country. Nigeria's inflation rate currently stands at 13.71%. The NSAS protest may have been planned to call on the government to put an end to the menace of the now disbanded dreaded Special Anti-Robbery Squad unit of the Nigerian police force. But what started out as a largely peaceful, well-organized protest across states went from pretty to ugly when sponsored thugs began attacking protesters. A judicial panel of inquiry set up afterwards by the Lagos state government, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, is currently sitting to unravel the illegal operations of SARS officers in the past and also examine the violence that sprouted from the protest. Similar inquiries are also being undertaken by some states in the country. Whether the effort of the panel will heal all wound is one thing. Whether Lagos and other states affected by the violence will recover from the economic losses is another. Only time will tell.